The UK justice system, a symbol of fairness. But what happens when this system fails? When innocent people are wrongfully imprisoned, thousands have suffered this injustice. Imagine being ripped from your life, accused of a crime you didn't commit, facing a judge, a jury, and the prospect of years behind bars. This is the reality for far too many in the UK. This video investigates the dark side of the UK justice system. Join us as we delve into the stories that need to be told. The UK justice system prides itself on fairness, but the reality is far more complex. Thousands have been wrongly convicted, their lives shattered by a system designed to protect them. How can this happen? How can innocent people end up behind bars? From flawed investigations to miscarriages of justice, the system is failing its citizens. We will explore the cases that have shocked the nation, exposing the flaws that have led to innocent people being locked away. Prepare to be shocked, angered, and deeply saddened by the stories we uncover, stories that demand to be heard. For years, these stories have remained hidden, buried within the complex machinery of the legal system, but no longer. We will shine a light on the dark corners of the UK justice system. We will unravel the systemic failures that have led to thousands of wrongful convictions. Join us as we delve into the intricacies of police investigations, court proceedings, and the fight for justice. This is a story that needs to be told, a story of injustice, resilience, and the urgent need for change. The UK justice system, for all its claims of fairness, has a dark underbelly, a history stained with wrongful convictions, cases that shook the nation's conscience and revealed deep-seated flaws within the system. The Guildford Four, the Maguire Seven, Sally Clark. These names are etched in the annals of British legal history. They serve as stark reminders of the human cost of a system that can fail so catastrophically. These cases expose the fragility of justice, the ease with which innocent lives could be ensnared by prejudice, flawed evidence, and a relentless pursuit of convictions. The fight to clear their names became a fight for justice itself, a struggle against the immense power of the state. Their stories, though decades old, remain chillingly relevant. They serve as a stark warning, a reminder that the pursuit of justice demands constant vigilance. The Guildford Four, a travesty of justice, 1974. A wave of terror grips the UK. The IRA bombings cast a long shadow, fueling fear and suspicion. In this climate of fear, justice was often the first casualty. Four young people, Jerry Conlon, Paul Hill, Carol Richardson, and Paddy Armstrong, were arrested for the bombing of a Guildford pub. Their crime, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, their lives entangled in a web of prejudice and forced confessions. Despite their innocence, despite a lack of credible evidence, they were convicted. The prosecution's case relied heavily on coerced confessions extracted under duress and riddled with inconsistencies. The justice system, blinded by fear and prejudice, failed to protect the innocent. It took 15 long years before they were finally freed in 1989. The Maguire Seven tainted evidence, broken lives. The shadow of the Guildford Four case extended far beyond the four wrongly convicted. It ensnared families, destroyed lives, and revealed the chilling reach of injustice. The Maguire Seven, close relatives of Jerry Conlon, became entangled in this web of deceit. Accused of handling explosives allegedly passed on by the Guildford Four, the Maguire Seven faced a justice system already poisoned by prejudice. The evidence against them? Tainted, unreliable, and ultimately discredited. Despite the flimsiness of the prosecution's case, the court found them guilty. Their struggle for justice became a symbol of resilience and the fight against overwhelming odds. Sally Clark. When grief became a crime. The parents' worst nightmare. For Sally Clark, this nightmare became a waking horror when she was accused of murdering her two infant sons. The prosecution's case hinged on the flawed expert testimony of pediatrician Professor Sir Roy Meadow. physical evidence and the devastating emotional toll of losing her children, Sally was convicted in 1999. The court, swayed by Meadows' flawed statistics and a misunderstanding of sudden infanticide, failed to see the truth. Though Sally's conviction was eventually overturned, the ordeal left an indelible mark. It highlighted the fragility of justice and the need for constant vigilance against prejudice and flawed. The image of a police officer often evokes feelings of safety, security, and trust. But what happens when this trust is broken? When the very people meant to uphold the law become agents of injustice? Police misconduct has played a chilling role in countless wrongful convictions. From coerced confessions to fabricated evidence, the pursuit of convictions has at times overshadowed the pursuit of truth. The pressure to secure convictions, particularly in high-profile cases, can create a dangerous environment where shortcuts are taken. The psychological manipulation of suspects can lead to false confessions, admissions of guilt extracted under duress. The fabrication of evidence strikes at the very heart of the justice system. These actions not only destroy the lives of the wrongly convicted, but erode public confidence in the police and the justice system as a whole. The human mind is a complex and fragile thing, susceptible to pressure, manipulation, and the overwhelming desire to escape unpleasant situations. In the confines of a police interrogation room, the line between truth and falsehood can become blurred, leading to one of the most tragic miscarriages of justice: false confessions. The pressure to confess, to provide answers that will satisfy the interrogators, can be overwhelming. Sleep deprivation, intimidation tactics, threats of harsh sentences, and promises of leniency can all contribute to a suspect confessing to a crime they did not commit. The desire to appease authority figures can override logic and reason, leading to tragic consequences. The Reed technique, a widely used interrogation method, exemplifies the potential for coercion. This technique can be particularly effective in eliciting confessions, both true and false. The problem of false confessions highlights the need for robust safeguards within the interrogation process. In the pursuit of justice, science often plays a pivotal role. Forensic evidence, DNA analysis, and expert testimony can provide crucial insights. However, the veneer of scientific objectivity can sometimes mask underlying flaws. Expert witnesses command respect in the courtroom. Their testimony can sway juries, influencing the outcome of a trial. However, when expert testimony is based on flawed science, it can lead to wrongful convictions. The case of Sally Clark serves as a chilling reminder of the devastating impact of flawed expert evidence. The justice system's reliance on expert testimony underscores the need for robust quality control mechanisms within forensic science. Failing the defenseless, inadequate legal representation. The right to a fair trial hinges on the principle of equality before the law. Central to this principle is the right to legal representation. However, for many, caught in the gears of the justice system, this right becomes a hollow promise. Public defenders, often overworked and underpaid, struggle to provide adequate representation to their clients. The lack of resources and overwhelming caseloads can lead to rushed judgments and wrongful convictions. Inadequate legal representation can manifest in many ways, from failing to properly investigate the facts to providing ineffective legal advice. Ensuring that everyone has access to skilled legal representation is a fundamental pillar of a just society. A web of failures. When systems fail, lives are shattered. Wrongful convictions are rarely the result of a single catastrophic error. More often, they are the culmination of a series of failures. It's a web of interconnected flaws, each thread contributing to the tragic outcome. The pressure to secure convictions can create a tunnel vision effect, blinding those within the system to alternative explanations. The lack of accountability for misconduct can perpetuate a culture of silence. Addressing wrongful convictions requires a multifaceted approach and a commitment to transparency and accountability. Only then can we hope to mend the broken threads of the system and prevent the tragic consequences of wrongful imprisonment. Stolen lives, broken dreams, the human cost of wrongful imprisonment. Imagine stepping into a courtroom, innocent, yet facing a system that presumes guilt. The weight of the law bears down, whispers sting, and fear paralyzes. Thousands wrongly convicted in the UK face lives altered by a system meant to protect them. It's not just physical confinement, it's the stripping away of dignity and hope. Every day behind bars is a day stolen, dreams turned to dust. The psychological impact is profound: anxiety, despair, and gnawing uncertainty. The world outside keeps spinning, yet for those wrongly imprisoned, time stands still. Families are torn apart, relationships strained, and support systems crumble. The wrongly convicted become ghosts, their lives forever marked by injustice. Even upon release, the scars of wrongful imprisonment run deep. The struggle to rebuild shattered lives and reclaim lost time is an uphill battle. Psychological trauma, financial ruin, and social stigma linger for years. Their stories remind us of the human cost of wrongful convictions, lives forever altered. Beyond the bars, the ripple effect of injustice. Wrongful convictions cast long shadows over families, communities, and society. Families suffer, torn apart by suspicion and legal battles. Children grow up with absent parents, marked by stigma. Communities bear the brunt. Trust in justice erodes. The fight for justice becomes a collective effort. These cases highlight the need for reform and transparency. Andrew Malkinson, A Case Study in Resilience and the Fight for Justice. Wrongly convicted in 2003, Andrew Malkinson spent 17 years in prison maintaining his innocence. His case highlights the devastating impact of wrongful convictions. Andrew became a tireless advocate for his freedom. Advances in DNA technology led to his exoneration in 2020. His story underscores the urgent need for justice reform. The economic burden of injustice. A costly mistake. The human cost of wrongful convictions is immeasurable, but the economic burden is staggering. Every year, the UK government spends millions of pounds compensating those who have been wrongly imprisoned, a financial drain on the public purse that could be avoided by addressing the root causes of miscarriages of justice. The compensation payouts, though they offer some financial redress, can never truly compensate for the lost years, the emotional trauma, and the ripple effects of wrongful convictions. The money, often tied up in legal battles and subject to lengthy delays, cannot buy back time, restore lost opportunities, or heal the wounds of injustice. Beyond the direct costs of compensation, there are the hidden costs of wrongful convictions, the loss of productivity, the strain on social services, and the erosion of public trust in the justice system. The wrongly convicted upon release often face significant challenges in securing employment, housing, and rebuilding their lives. Investing in preventative measures such as improving police training, enhancing access to legal representation, and strengthening forensic science is not just a moral imperative but an economic necessity. By addressing the systemic flaws that contribute to wrongful convictions, we can reduce the number of innocent people imprisoned, save taxpayer money, and create a more just and equitable society. Section 5. Eroding trust, fracturing society, the broader impact of wrongful convictions. The justice system relies on trust. Wrongful convictions erode this trust, creating unease about fairness. When trust is lost, it breeds cynicism and reluctance to cooperate with law enforcement. Marginalized communities are particularly affected, leading to a chilling effect on reporting crimes. Addressing wrongful convictions strengthens society's fabric and reaffirms belief in justice. Section 1. Seeking Justice, Facing Barriers. The Criminal Cases Review Commission. The Criminal Cases Review Commission, or CCRC, stands as a beacon of hope for those who maintain their innocence after exhausting all other legal avenues. Established in 1997 in the wake of high-profile miscarriages of justice, the CCRC represents a critical safeguard within the UK justice system, tasked with investigating potential miscarriages of justice and referring cases back to the Court of Appeal if there are grounds to believe a conviction is unsafe. The CCRC's role is not to retry cases but to act as an independent body, reviewing evidence, scrutinising trial proceedings, and considering any new evidence or arguments that were not presented at the original trial. They are in essence a safety net, a last resort for those who believe they've been wrongly convicted and have nowhere else to turn. However, the CCRC faces significant challenges. The volume of applications for review is immense, far exceeding their resources and capacity to investigate every case thoroughly. The CCRC must prioritise cases based on the likelihood of success, meaning that many deserving cases may not receive the in-depth review they warrant. Furthermore, the CCRC's powers are limited. They cannot compel witnesses to cooperate, nor can they force the police to disclose evidence. This lack of investigative authority can hinder their ability to uncover miscarriages of justice, particularly in cases where police misconduct or evidence suppression may have occurred. Section 2. The long road to compensation, a system marred by delays and inadequacies. For those wrongfully imprisoned, the fight for justice extends to seeking compensation for lost years and missed opportunities. The UK government has a compensation scheme, but the process is long and challenging. Delays and bureaucratic hurdles leave many in financial and emotional limbo. The compensation often fails to fully account for the profound impact of wrongful imprisonment. Reformers call for a more compassionate and efficient system. Section 3, Justice Undone, Trust Eroded, the ongoing challenge of righting wrongs. The issue of wrongful convictions is not merely a legal problem, it's a societal ill, a stain on the fabric of justice that demands our attention and our commitment to finding solutions. While reforms have been implemented and organisations like the CCRC work tirelessly to right past wrongs, the challenge of preventing future miscarriages of justice remains an ongoing battle. The cases highlighted in this video, though shocking in their individual details, represent a systemic failure, a failure to adequately safeguard the presumption of innocence, to ensure fair trials, and to hold those in power accountable for their actions. The pursuit of justice cannot be driven solely by the desire for convictions. It must be tempered by a commitment to truth, fairness, and a recognition that the system is fallible and that mistakes can have devastating consequences. Addressing the root causes of wrongful convictions requires a multifaceted approach, a collective effort from lawmakers, law enforcement, legal professionals, and the public at large. It demands a critical examination of police interrogation techniques, a commitment to strengthening forensic science, and a recognition of the crucial role of adequate legal representation in ensuring fair trials. The fight for justice is an ongoing one, a continuous journey towards a system that truly upholds the principles of fairness, equality, and the presumption of innocence. It is a fight that demands our attention, our vigilance, and our unwavering commitment to ensuring that no innocent person suffers the injustice of wrongful imprisonment. Section 1. The price of freedom. The UK justice system, a symbol of fairness and the rule of law, has at times faltered, its integrity shaken by the weight of wrongful convictions. Thousands of innocent people have endured the unimaginable, their lives shattered by a system designed to protect them. Their stories, each a tragic testament to the human cost of injustice, serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of freedom and the ever-present potential for error within even the most well-intentioned systems. From the haunting case of the Guildford Four to the devastating ordeal of Andrew Malkinson, the patterns are clear. Flawed investigations, coerced confessions, unreliable evidence, and inadequate legal representation have all contributed to the miscarriage of justice. The pursuit of convictions at times has overshadowed the pursuit of truth, leaving innocent lives in ruins. The fight to clear their names, to reclaim their lives and to seek accountability for the injustices they suffered has been long and arduous. It has exposed systemic weaknesses, challenged long-held assumptions, and ignited calls for reform. The CCRC, a beacon of hope for the wrongly convicted, works tirelessly to right past wrongs, but the path to justice remains fraught with challenges, marred by delays, limited resources, and a system still grappling with its own fallibility. The economic burden of these miscarriages of justice is staggering, but the human cost is immeasurable. The scars of wrongful imprisonment run deep, affecting not only the individuals but also their families, communities, and society's trust in the very institutions designed to uphold justice. Section 2. Justice demands action. The fight against wrongful convictions is about preventing future injustices and building a system committed to justice for all. It requires a shift from a culture of conviction to a culture of justice. This demands a collective effort from all stakeholders. Lawmakers must enact legislation that strengthens safeguards against wrongful convictions. Legal professionals must uphold the highest ethical standards. The public must demand accountability and support justice reforms. Justice delayed is justice denied.